In 1671, the Tower of London stood as a medieval fortress designed to be impenetrable. It was a labyrinth of heavy metal grills and stone walls. Deep in a basement vault sat the crown jewels, King Charles II's state crown, the gold orb, and the royal scepter. Thomas Blood had no business being near them. He was a broke Irish fugitive without an army or any means to blast through the tower's defenses. Blood bypassed the masonry entirely, focusing his efforts on the single psychological vulnerability holding the keys: the guard. That guard was Talbot Edwards. He was a 77-year-old veteran who lived with his family directly inside the tower, serving as the final barrier between the public and the gold. The cost of failure was absolute. For a crime against the crown, Blood faced being hung, drawn, and quartered, the most agonizing public death the 17th century could offer. Knowing a physical assault meant certain, gruesome death, Blood chose to dismantle the tower's security by manipulating the old man's mind. The infiltration began with a performance. Blood bypassed outer defenses disguised as a parson with a sick wife. Edwards invited them in to recover. Days later, Blood returned with a gift, leveraging reciprocity to transform into a trusted friend. Over several weeks, Blood deepened the bond. He even proposed a marriage between a wealthy, fictitious nephew and the guard's daughter, sealing the relationship with expensive gifts like these intricate embroidered white gloves. By weaponizing basic decency and familial ambition, Blood effectively dissolved the tower's physical fortifications without ever drawing a weapon. On May 9, 1671, the trap was sprung. Blood arrived at the tower with 3 heavily armed mercenaries, hiding pistols and daggers beneath their cloaks. Thinking he was doing a favor for his future family, Edwards willingly unlocked the heavy iron doors and led the men into the basement vault. The moment the doors closed, the men turned on him. They gagged the 77-year-old and stabbed him when he tried to fight back. They also struck him on the head with this specific heavy wooden mallet. With the guard down, the thieves faced a logistical nightmare. The solid gold artifacts were too massive and heavy to carry out unnoticed. They immediately began a frantic, brutal improvisation. Blood used the mallet to smash the state crown flat so he could hide it. Another man shoved the golden orb down his pants, while a third tried to saw the royal scepter in half. The most calculated psychological infiltration had devolved into desperate, chaotic vandalism the moment physical reality set in. Then an unpredictable variable crashed the party. Talbot Edwards' son, a soldier returning home from Flanders, arrived at the tower completely unannounced. Seeing his family's door open and hearing a struggle, the son raised the alarm. The thieves panicked instantly, dropping the heavy scepter onto the stone floor and frantically fleeing with only the flattened crown and the orb. Bleeding on the vault floor, the elder Edwards managed to spit out his gag and scream, "Treason! Murder!" alerting the entire garrison. The getaway turned into a full-blown shootout. Blood and his men sprinted through muddy courtyards, firing back at the pursuing guards. At the main gate, a guard tackled Blood into the mud. The flattened crown rolled away, but Blood remained defiant, shouting it was a gallant attempt for a crown. The extraction was a total failure. Blood was hauled away to a dungeon, where he was expected to wait for his execution. Blood was trapped. He faced a certain agonizing end for his crimes, but he refused to speak to anyone except King Charles II personally. During the interrogation, Blood didn't beg for his life. Instead, he spoke to the king as a peer, describing the heist as a daring, gallant adventure rather than a common theft. He gambled on the king's specific personality. Charles II was a monarch who famously prized wit, audacity, and theater above the rigid protocols of his own court. Charles found the performance so entertaining and the man so charismatic that he issued a full pardon. Not only was Blood's life spared, but he was gifted an Irish estate worth £500 a year. By treating high treason as a stage play, Blood completed his most successful manipulation. He turned a death sentence into a royal pension. The theft of the crown jewels highlights a timeless security truth. Physical fortifications are only as strong as the human beings tasked with maintaining them. Thomas Blood's career demonstrated that absolute confidence is a master key. capable of opening the minds of guards and kings alike.